So good evening, everybody. So I'm Fanindra, the CEO of Vision 2020, the Right to Sight India. So first of all, let me express our deepest gratitude to Dr. Subhajit Sahu, who is a distinguished chartered accountant, not just in India, but across Asia, Africa, and Middle East, who is actually with us today to share the 24-25 Union budget implications for NGOs and also what are the key changes happened in the recent past in terms of the budget and compliance guidelines. So thank you, Dr. Subhajit Sahu, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom and knowledge with all of us, and also providing us the practical inputs and the kind of the guidelines that our member institutions will follow across the country. And so we will run this webinar for an hour approximately. And all of you know, Vision 2020 has been organizing various webinars under its Knowledge Hub initiative. So I'm so happy to introduce you our today's resource person, Dr. Subhajit Sahu. He's a distinguished chartered accountant and founding partner of Subhajit Sahu and Company based in New Delhi. Since qualifying as a chartered accountant in 1995, he has specialized in legal, governance, and financial matters for NGOs across Asia, Africa, and Middle East. Dr. Sahu consults for international funding agencies and corporate foundations, focusing on project implementation and evaluation. So his extensive work includes facilitating workshops and conducting forensic audits in India, South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. For his extensive philanthropic work, Dr. Sahu is awarded with the Youth Inspiration Award in 2018 and the Man of the Excellence Award in 2021. He also serves on the various boards and trusts, contributing significantly to the financial management, capacity building, and project conceptualization. So Dr. Sahu's expertise in legal and governance issues is invaluable for NGOs across the domain, across the globe, helping them navigate complex regulatory environments and comply with the legal requirements like FCRA. So this ensures transparency and compliance, crucial for maintaining credibility and securing funding, allowing NGOs to focus on their missions of social development. By enhancing governance structures and offering capacity building initiatives, Dr. Sahu aids NGOs in improving their operational efficiency and effectiveness, ultimately driving social change and development. So he's not just only chartered accountant, he's also a qualified legal consultant. He's been helping us across the globe, as I mentioned, Asia, Africa, and Middle East, very well known in the country particularly. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much for taking your time and sharing your thoughts and also kind of the analyzing the 24-25 union budget and its implications for NGOs and sharing those important insights from that with all of us. So we like to thank also the Orbis, the CyberSite platform, for providing us the CyberSite platform. We're actually running this webinar on, and we appreciate the support from our corporate advisory board members, Aposam Associates, Aerolab, SLR, 4S Healthcare, and also Microflow Devices. There is a question and answer box. If you see on the below panel where you can actually type your questions, we will answer them at the end of the presentation. And so thank you all the participants for joining us on time. And I hope really it will be useful for you. Please listen to this presentation carefully because this is very, very important. And actually, you may not have that kind of expertise locally because some of you are coming from very rural areas. And we have a opportunity that Sahu with us. Kindly take the advantage of it, put up your questions, and really make sure that you are complying to the recent changes in the made in the Union budget and applicable to the NGOs. Thank you so much. And I'm now requesting Dr. Sahu to take on, please. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Faninda. And thank you for arranging this and this webinar because there was not much changes in the budget related to NGOs, but whatever the changes were, it will have a long-lasting effect. There will be very few. I have very few slides for the presentation. I will be very happy to answer the questions if anyone asks. Any of you, I think almost 44, 42 of us have joined. So you can ask. I'll briefly share the in the PPT So I'll go straight to the PPT so that will some save some time, and we can take the questions more. So, it is like everyone is worried about FCRA. Nowadays, no, even up to 2020, everyone is much more worried about FCRA. But I'll say ki if whether you receive money or not, even if after receiving the money you end up paying tax, then it is more complicated and other things. So it is better we really need to understand when we are running a trust society or section 8 company, so we should not end up paying tax also, even if there is a surplus or there is some expenses which are disallowed and other thing. So, all of us sitting here, if they are running an NGO, they must be registered under Section 1023C or Section 12A of the Income Tax Act. It is the exemption from charging income to tax. So, whatever the money you receive, you need not have to pay any tax, because the government has given you these two sections, exemption sections, where you have already registered yourself. I'll just maybe, for many of us it will be like a regulatory and other thing, it is a regular matter, you might be you're hearing this thing since many years. But I'll just need to clarify, like there are two sections, 1023C, which is those NGOs which are more service providing nature, like educational institutes, hospitals, universities. If you are someone from Delhi, I know such organization like India Habitat Center, India International Center, where you go, you have your food, you can have your accommodation and other thing, but whatever they earn on that, they don't pay any tax, because they have registered themselves under Section 1023C. So other than such organizations, service providing organizations, if there are such NGOs which are really charitable nature or religious nature, so they have to register themselves under Section 12A of the Income Tax Act, so that whatever their grant, donation, interest, any sort of income, they don't pay membership fee, contribution, they don't pay any tax on that. So it is key, like there are categories, broadly two categories of the organization. So any organization getting themselves registered even today, they have to go for 12-way registration. If they don't do, they won't be able to claim any tax exemption in their income. So all their income will be taxed like a private limited company, profit making company. So it is so when you, so there are specific period, like within 6 months of time, they have to, a new organization need to get themselves registered under this. So this is ki like one organization, when it is its own income will be exempted if they are registering themselves under Section 1023C or Section 12A. In the next slides we will read ki like how this budget, this 24-25 budget has asked for merging of both these sections. Will in future, from 1st of October 2024, there will not be any section called 1023C. In the budget it has come. So it will be only Section 12A organizations who will get registered. You have to only one section under which you will be registered. So I tried to make it very brief, very crispy, so that you can understand. So changes, we old organizations sitting here, they must be knowing, like earlier there was only Section 12A and 1023C, and there was once registered, it was registered for life. Section 12A and Section 1023C. So it is before 21-22, there was no such provision for renewal of registration. But after the financial year 21-22, it was there in one of the budget, the act got changed. So all the organizations who are registered under section 12A or 1023CC, they have to mandatorily renew themselves by applying again to the income tax authorities online to renew their registration number and to get a new registration number under section 12AA of the income tax act. So the section 12A will now become section 12AA, and every fifth year, like FCRA, we have to get our organization renewed the exemption status. So there is a time period like FCRA, there is a time within which you have to apply, you have to submit documents and other thing. So earlier, there are many organizations who could not apply in time, or even they applied in some wrong section and other thing. So those things could be condoned. The delay could be condoned only by the Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT, had the power to condone the delay. That means if it is not condoned, all your income is taxed. So till this budget 2024, the first three cases like 1, 2, 3, which I have mentioned, these are there. Earlier, no renewal, then it came for the renewal, then the condonation of delay. But what this new budget has in 24-25 budget, the condonation of delay was taking lot of time because CBDT it doesn't allow so quickly the condonation. It was taking hell lot of time, and the income tax authorities like commissioner and other level, they were sending recovery notices and other thing. So in this budget, it came the either the principal commissioner of income tax or the commissioner of the income tax have been given the power to condone the delay. So they under going reaching CBDT was becoming very difficult. So to streamline the process, to ease the process, so now the principal commissioner of income tax or the commissioner of the income tax, wherever the organization falls and where is the jurisdiction, so accordingly they can file the condonation for that. So till now we are discussing about the exemptions availed or exemptions prevailing for the organization itself. But now it is under section 80G. So whenever there is a 12A, there must be there most of the organization having 80G. It is a section under which both individuals or companies can donate to a organization and they can claim exemption, and they can to claim the exemption or to give the donation, the NGO itself must be a registered organization under section 80G. So it is so organization when they go for the 12A registration, they have to go for the 80G registration also. Same procedure, everything almost same, and every fifth year again renewal of 80G. So what is the benefit of your organization getting 80G? So you can, the person or the company CSR donors, when they donate to you, they can claim in their income either 100% or 50% based on the nature of 80G you have received. So many NGOs are there, family planning association, they get 100% exemption when someone donates to them. There will be some association, National Association for Blind. They are also registered under some section where they get 100%. Not all the NABs, but there are few NABs who also get 100% exemption. So this is the section under which when you register yourself, you attract money. It is a source to it is a process through which you also raise money. People tend to donate to you. But what happened in the new budget, even it was in the last year, and which was it came in the last year, but there was not clarity. But this budget, this was very clear. It means any person can choose. There are salaried employees, they can go under the old regime or new regime. I am not discussing personal taxation here, but in the new regime, the tax slab was high. Up to 7 lakh of rupee, no need to pay tax. But and in the old regime, even by earning 5 lakh of rupee, you have to pay tax. If someone chooses new regime, up to 7 lakh of rupee, there is no tax, but no deduction is allowed under the new regime. So any salaried person who was actually donating to your organization in the old regime and claiming 50% of exemption, now he or she may not be able, will not be able to claim that deduction while he or she is in the new tax regime. So the fundraising through individual donations will definitely get impacted with the new this budget and other thing. So we really need to know key like how we can our fundraising departments, our fundraisers, how they can really connect to that person in the mind of charity, not only in the mind of saving tax. So in summary, like if I want to share, these were the only three things which got changed in the new budget. There, I'll again in the next slide I'll tell, but merger of both the registrations. Earlier, organizations who are service nature and charitable nature were different. They had to register themselves under two sections, the 1023C or 12A. But now from October 1st, there will be merger of both the sections. Only one section under section 12AA, all the organization has to be registered, and all the benefits under 1023C will be till 30th of September 2024. After that, there will be no benefit under 1023C. Delegation of authority, as I said, now it is with the principal commissioners, it is with the commissioner of the income tax. It is a good thing which has been recommended and it is implemented now. So that if there is a delay for some reason, you need not have to go, you have to go to the CBDT, which is a long time taking process, but it is will be going to the commissioner or the principal commissioner. Earlier, what was happening ki like the time period within which the application has to be disposed of. When you have applied for the renewal process, the application has to be disposed of within 6 months from the end of the month in which it has been applied. But that is now changed. It will be from the end of the quarter from which it has been applied. So the time period, we also, it is a good move. The principal commissioners and other thing, they are getting more time. Really, it is not a good thing also from my perspective. It is a little bit stricter thing from the perspective of the NGO, because the commissioner or principal commissioners are getting more time to see your file. So nowadays, when we see in the renewal process, they are asking so many things, so many questions, the notices becoming very thick. They are asking 25 to 30 pointer questions to the organization for the renewal process, whether it is a 12A or ATG. So that we have to be when that is from organizational point of view may not be a good move, but from the departmental point of view, it is a good move from their side. So as I have said, ki merger of both the registrations, uh, delegation of authority, and increase in the time limit in disposing the applications of registration and other thing. So it is I have already explained this. So now they have more time to see your files. So when we submit, we have to be very careful. What was happening, it is, though it is not mentioned here, I must share, because we are here, we are it's like we must understand. Like many of the eye care units, they are also into sale, they are also into hospitals. So organizers, in the mind of the income tax authority, it is a business they are doing. Whether an NGO registered under section 12A can do business or not. So many of us, many chartered accountants say, they give their opinion ki charitable organization cannot do business. It is wrong. There was an amendment which came in the, it is totally not written here, but I am sharing for the benefit of you. uh, in the 2008, the definition of charity got changed. The incidental business income means, if you are doing some activity, if you are an organization registered under section 12A, and you are having main objective of education, health, relief to poor, protection of environment, protection of monument archives, and yoga. Till 2014, amendments happened, and these six things came. So if you are doing in the field of health, which you are, if you are a hospital, if you are running a means you are setting the glasses frames and other thing, you may have GST, but it should be incidental to your main objective. Then your all the business activities, all the receipts from the business are exempt. So you will not be charged to any tax by the income tax authority. You will not be losing your 12A status. But again, 2023-24 budget, when it came, they said you can do all these business activities, but you have to keep separate books of account for all business related activities. So you can do all such business activities if it is incidental to your main objective, and you have to prepare separate books of account, and you have to report profit or loss from that activity in the income tax return. These three things income tax authorities want from you, and if you are doing that, you can do crores of business, nothing will happen to you. So when this 12A section got changed, 1023 section got changed, what also happened to us as the auditor? What is our duty of reporting? So till financial year 21-22, there was only one audit report to be submitted by the auditor online. The name was, number was 10B, form number 10B, where few disclosures were given about the organization, about the governance, about the activities of the organization. But from 22-23 onwards, means since last to last year, the auditor has to report. There are two types of reports came from the income tax authorities. It is 10B and 10BB. So when the auditor has to file the 10B form, if the total income is less than 5 crores, if the total income is more than 5 crores, if there is a foreign contribution received by the organization, and if any income was applied beyond India, outside India, if there was any expenditure, or the income was more than 5 crore, or any foreign contribution was received, if any one condition out of the three is fulfilled by the organization, the auditor has to submit 10B form online. If these three conditions are not fulfilled by any organization, then then the auditor of that organization has to submit a form called 10BB. So many of the auditors were not very clear. they submitted a wrong form. So, but the income tax authorities came up with a clarification and asked the NGOs to talk to their auditors to file the correct form. So it was till last year and it is continuing now. It was regarding the audit of your organization. So there was also changes in the budget, not this year, last year. Like there was filing of forms to the government authorities. Like there are various forms. Most of you might be knowing Form 10, Form 9A. When you are submitting a Form 10 means if you are not able to spend one of the preconditions of availing a 12A exemption is whatever money you receive in a year, an NGO, if that NGO is registered under Section 12A, that NGO has to keep proper books of account. What is proper books of account? That has been defined under the Income Tax Act, which came in the budget of 2023, 22-23. There was another change. All the books of account has to be kept at the registered office address of the organization. If you are not keeping your books of account at the registered office address, you have to give intimation to the income tax authorities where your books are being kept. They also said the income tax, the books of account has to be kept hold by the organization for 11 years. The books of account has to be audited by a chartered accountant. The income tax return has to be filed within the due dates. And while doing the audit and filing the return, the organization have to ensure 85% of the money has been spent. Whatever the money you have received, 85% of that money you have spent in the year of receipt. So whatever money you receive to to maintain your 12A status, to exemption status, you have to spend the money, whether it is in the administrative program, fixed asset you purchase, all included. It must be at least 85% of the total receipt. Suppose you are not able to expend that 85%, then also income tax says like you can also continue your 12A status provided you have submitted the form 10. It is a online form which needs to be submitted to the income tax authorities stating the fact in the through a resolution that we could not spend 85%, we could spend only 65%. So the rest 20% you have to accumulate, which will be spent for specific purpose. You have to mention the purpose for which you are accumulating this money, which is allowed to be spent in the next 5 years. So suppose you are not able to spend that money, so you have to submit a form 10 which has to be filed by 31st of August each year. But last year, the 22-23 budget it came. So everyone was gearing up to file because if your audit is not complete, how will know how much money you have spent technically? So there was a notification, there was a circular from the income tax authorities. They said that this 31st date will now be withdrawn and the form 10 can be filed along with the income tax return either same time or much before the time of filing the income tax return ITR 7, which the last date is 31st of October. So along with that 31st of October ITR, you can also file your Form 10. Form 9A talks about suppose you received some money in advance in the month of March. Then instead of accumulation, you can just intimate the income tax authorities about the Form 9A and you can share with the grant letter or the donation letter stating the fact this money has come to be spent in the next year onwards. So as I said, all these things, how you can say to the income tax authorities through a electronic form supported by a resolution from the board. Again this form 10B, what is the last date? Either 10B or 10BB. What is the last date of filing? It is 30th of September. These are the dates prescribed by the income tax authorities. Then after you file the in 30th September return, you can then only you can file your 31st October. Before 31st October, you can file your income tax return to the authorities. Many organizations, when they started filing without knowing, they first submitted the ITR 7, then they submitted their form 10B, which is totally wrong. Your income tax return can only be submitted, and another precondition of the 12A status is to get the books of account audited before the return is filed. So you have to ensure first your books of account audited. Auditor has uploaded 10B or 10BB return audit report in the income tax website, which will be verified by the organization through digitally signing to the digitally signing. That means auditor has to sign, organization has to verify, then only that form will be submitted. After that only you can file your income tax return. When you file your income tax return also electronically, digitally signing also, you have to verify the form. Otherwise, it will not be a valid return being submitted to the income tax authorities. You will definitely get an OTP. Through OTP, it gets verified. So all those processes are involved when you file your return. The return can be, many of us file within the due date, and we are very happy that we have filed a timely return. But timely return and a correctly filed timely return is different. So when you in the income tax return also, when you are filing, there are many disclosures has to be given about your FCRA money, how much FC money you have received, who audited your books of account, what is the what is the business related income you are generating. So all those has to be disclosed in the ITR. So when you file the income tax return or in a 10B form, the auditor has to disclose many things. There are many things the auditor has to disclose when they submit the 10B online. So they may be asking you various questions. You should not feel irritated. Why this auditor is asking so many questions? Last 2 years, there are a lot of changes in the, they are holding the auditor responsible if the correct disclosures have not been made in the income tax return. The auditor may ask whether any board members are given any salary, whether there is some expenditure to the related party. So all those things, the auditor may ask those disclosures, because anything wrong, it is not only the auditor but the whole organization will suffer. So that way you really need to understand and ask for, if the auditor is asking for, you need to give. You must ask your auditor a management report about when they audit your books of account. They have to definitely give you where you are falling short, where you really need to improve. Because today's time, if you don't have a bill, you don't have a supporting, if you don't have a approval, you can take all those post facto. But if you slacken a bit, if there is a non-compliances, which in the next slide I'll share, this budget has made a severe mistake. They are going to impose a severe penalty. So you really need to know there are many changes under the provision of TDS. So government is very strict ki, like when you are paying someone, if that amount is liable to tax, whether you are deducting and depositing and timely depositing the money with the government exchequer. So these two sections is very critical. Earlier what was happening ki, when you file, if you paying someone some amount, a consultant beyond 30,000, a contractor beyond 1 lakh of rupee, or one time payment 30,000, or a one new section 194R has come. If you are hiring a consultant, paying them some hotel charges, food charges, and other thing, any reimbursement, on that also you have to deduct tax. So earlier what was happening, you deduct tax, file the return. If there is some ambiguity or there is some discrepancy in the income TDS return, which you also file online, you could revise that return even after the expiry of 6 year after filing the return. But with the new amendment, you cannot. Only 1 year from means like within 1 year after expiry of 6 year, means suppose there is a gap of 6 year, you have filed the return, you cannot revise that return, which was earlier happening. So many organizations were deducting tax. They were making corrections. Suppose during the audit, you could know like there was some TDS has not been made. Earlier, what was happening? The auditors were saying, okay, TDS has not been made. We'll disallow the money and we'll file the return. But today's time, it is not. It also came in the budget 23, 22, 23. If you are filing, if you are deducting any tax, and if you have failed to deduct any tax before filing the income tax return of your organization, first you have to deposit that amount of tax with the government authorities, then only your income tax return can be filed. So it is a very harsh thing which has come. Also, no revision after the expiry of 6 years. So you have to be very careful when you file your income tax return. There is a penalty provision under section 271(h), which says ki suppose you have filed your income tax return beyond 1 month from the due date. People were earlier filing, there was late filing for some reason or something, and it was filed and 200 rupee fine was being paid. But now the fine the government expects from you, it will be between 10,000 to 1 lakh of rupee penalty which can be imposed. So we have to be very careful, very proactive, or, finding out where tax has to be made, how, what is the percentage that has to be made, how it has to be deducted, when it has to be deposited, and when the return has to be filed. And once the return has to be filed, how the certificates has to be distributed from the deductees. So these are few provisions we really, this is very harsh provisions which has come. So you must share it with your accounts finance team so that they're very careful. Otherwise, if any penalty is paid also, that will not be accounted as expenditure while computing your tax. You will be paying something which will go from your organization, but penalty, interest are excluded while computing the 85% of your expenditure. So I think with this, I will close the presentation. Now you can ask you have any questions or anything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Um, this is actually a complex subject in terms of sections, too many sections, but you made it very diligent, very carefully, very nicely. Actually, you've taken us through, um, and very at a slow pace, very understanding pace of presentation that you made. So very excellent, sir. Thank you so much. So we have received a few questions, sir, and I would like to start with one question about you mentioned about uh, the uh, the society related originals copies to be kept at the registered office. So is that allowed, sir? That if you can keep the photocopies and scanned copies at the registered office while maintaining the original copies at the administrative office, other than, I mean, apart from the registered office.
Sir,
So,
I think I'll make it clear. I said books of account.
books of accounts, yes.
The books of account includes there are 15 definition 15 categories of books of account where they say cash book, ledger, bill, supporting, program related. Even they have categorically said key like the bills of account cannot be handwritten. So all those things you have to keep your books of account. Original documents you can keep it anywhere. It's much, technically it should be kept at the registered office, but I shared ki what was the changes. All the books of accounts has to be held in the registered office of the organization. If you are holding it, if you are keeping these books of account any place other than suppose I say I run an organization, the activities are in Orissa and Jharkhand, but the books of account are maintained in Orissa and Jharkhand also as well as in Delhi. So we have intimated to the income tax authorities, if you want to see the old age program books of account, it is in Orissa. If you want to see the livelihood and education program activities, it is in Jharkhand. And we have to mention the address also, like if I say Jharkhand, it has to be Govardhusi village, Patanda block, East Singhbhum district of Jharkhand with the pin code. So that we have to intimate to the income tax authorities. It is not the original constitutional document, it is the books of account, like your cash book, ledger, bill, supporting, participants list, program records, everything has to be in the registered office. If you are not holding it there, wherever you are holding, you have to give the addresses to the income tax authorities.
Okay. Sir, we have questions. Definitely, I think we will be sharing this, not just a presentation, but entire recording. We'll be sharing it with you. So please don't worry about the PPT and all. You'll be getting the entire link sometime next week so that you can actually watch it again as and when you feel it. So some questions about, could you please explain the little bit more about percentage of individual donation benefit under current budget? I think probably is referring to ATG,
Yeah.
probably.
So it is 50% only when they donate. But if that person who is donating, if they are filing their tax under the new regime, so
Hmm.
since last year, many of us know ki like old regime and new regime, old regime under which we are paying our taxes, computation being done. So I'll tell you very honestly, I'm not an expert and I'm not very fond of doing personal taxation. So I'll not go to lot detail, but till 5 lakh of rupee, you are not paying any tax under the old regime. And that increased to 7 lakh of rupee in the new regime. When till 7 lakh of rupee, you don't have to pay any tax in the new regime. But what was the main difference between these two regimes? Like under the old regime, you could claim or your ATG donation, your LIC, your children education allowance, your principal, your housing loan interest, everything you could claim while you are under the old regime. But when you migrated to the new regime, your tax slab increased to 7 lakh of rupee, but you lost all such deductions. You cannot claim any deduction. And how it is going to affect us, like many people were donating to charities to get tax exemption also. There was a definitely there was a heart to contribute to charity, but along with that people are getting tax benefits of 50%. So it is now they may not donate because they will not be getting
Any
that
benefit?
50% deduction.
Yes.
Definitely it has reduced over here, so it will reduce. Yes,
The individual donations will be coming down.
yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So the other questions are the what happens to NGOs registered under the section 1023C after 1st of October?
So they will have only one section. They will have all the benefits till the time suppose they have registered, renewed their registration in 2022. So till 27, all the benefits they will avail. But no registration or renewal will happen after first of means after 30th of September. everything will be only under section 12A. There will be no 2023C post 30th of September, but the benefits which is there for a 2023C organization, it will be till to 2027, till the time their renewal will get over. So
Okay.
after 27, there will be no 1023C organization. All will be 12 organization.
But sir, the registered entity, suppose NGO registered in a 2020, for example. In that case also is it 2027?
It is across, it is irrespective of 1023s or 1012A. It
Okay.
is it came in the budget 22-23 that it categorically said the books of account means place for books of account. Address of the registered office is the place for books of account. So whether it is a very old organization or very recently opened, or even if it
Hmm.
is open tomorrow, all the books of account has to be at the registered place. If it is not there, you have to just intimate. It is not a very
Hmm.
big deal. You can just have to
Hmm.
write letter.
Okay. So the ATG renewal will be under 12A or 12AA, sir.
12AA.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any implications of changes in ATG on CSR funding, sir? Apart from the individual donation you mentioned, but what about the CSR funding?
Sir, it will definitely be because many organizations um, under ATG, if this means for individual donations, it is there. But
Hmm.
when the companies also give, company computation is something different. It is not slab wise. It is 30%. There will be definitely, but if 80G is withdrawn, where means the discussion going on, if 80G is withdrawn, then things will be difficult because many of the CSR funders also they ask you ATG certificate, they ask you a utilization certificate and everything. Still, they ask for ATG means certificate from you.
ATG withdrawals from by the government, are you saying?
Let's wait.
Oh. This is a okay. Mm. What about, sir, the anonymous donations? They just because now the online donation campaign is going on, somebody probably we don't know much who is actually donating it. What about those such kind of anonymous donations?
Sir, anonymous donation, it is like there is a cap. There is section 115 talks about the cap, and they say ki like up to a particular amount, it will be though it is anonymous donation, there will be no tax. Beyond that, there will be a certain percentage of tax. If the anonymous donation is is risky, it is like if it is a FC donation coming to a non-FC bank account or a non-FC donation going to FC bank account,
Hmm.
uh, we generally don't advise our clients to go for such. There are many platforms. If they are able to give you the details, if it is whether it is a FC or non-FC, then it is fine. Anonymous donation in a long run will be difficult for the organization. If that organization is also having FCRA or receiving FC money into their non-FC bank account. So you're internally you have to have a system which can segregate either FC non-FC at least.
Hmm.
And anonymous donations are okay because you may have to pay some tax if that money is exceeding a particular amount of your grant and donation, but you will be raising some money. But if you violate in between, FC paisa goes to non-FC, non-FC paisa goes to FC, then it is difficult. So if you have during COVID, we raised some money, but the platform could not give us the detail of the donor. We didn't
Okay.
accept the money, but there was another platform who could give the details who's the donor. Though it was a very small money, we accepted. So if you have contacted the, and I'll tell you very honestly, you really need to have a dialogue with that the agency who are raising the money. They will be able to give you. Like I know big organizations where we work, and they raised money during the Kerala flood and other thing. They gave all the detail. They will be able to give if you insist.
Okay. So what about this, the risk of that if you don't file the Form 9A on time, is there any risk of getting the registration cancelled?
Sir, the registration uh, cancellation is other thing, but your money will definitely be taxed.
Okay.
Your registration will remain, but
Hmm.
they, because you could not spend the money, there will definitely be a surplus. Form
Hmm.
10, Form 9, if you have not submitted on time, then before cancelling their 12A, they will come to you asking for the tax, and
Okay.
that may consequently go for the 12A cancellation also, because it is one of the prime condition precondition to get the have the 12A intact.
Okay, so somebody, I think this question I need to see it correctly, but let me read out, sir, if you could make it something. Says our organization got FCRA in April 2024. We even received a single rupee through FCRA. Probably we did not even, I don't know, but this says if we even received a single rupee even through FCRA. Should we file quarterly return or not?
Quarterly return has been stopped, withdrawn
Yes.
by the FCRA authorities from I think 2022 July onwards. So you need not have to file quarterly, but you have to file annual return even if it is a nil return. And
In
my
July,
suggestion,
yes.
whoever the raised the question, my suggestion will be within 2 years, please find out someone who can donate you. Otherwise, that is also
Mm.
one of the condition when you can
Yes.
lose your FCRA, and people are
Mm.
losing FCRA because they didn't receive. One organization Nasik lost the FCRA because they could not raise money within two years.
Mm. So we recently got our organization registered under a provisional for 12E and 80G, but failed to do renewal within 6 months of initiation of activities. What do we do now?
I told ki like now you have to write a letter to the principal commissioner income tax. So they have the power now. They can condone this new thing has come in the budget. With valid reason, you have to write to the wherever your office NGO falls, whether it is under the principal commissioner or commissioner of income tax exemption, you have to write a letter of condonation. If they allow you, you can again proceed with the registration process.
So can a
These are
corporate
just
donor, okay, sir, can a corporate donor claim reduction under 80G and also treat it as a CSR expenditure?
sir, it is a debatable issue.
Okay.
Many so for me, I have given many opinions also. What is CSR? They
Hmm.
have to give the money from the appropriation of profit.
Hmm.
So when under a rule, under a act, they have given it to some organization because out of their profit they have to give, and they have complied with a particular act, CSR act. So and again, they are charging it as a donation in the above the line. It is not a good practice though, but there is a ITAT has a case law. ITAT has income tax tribunal has allowed, uh, so people can do, but my consign doesn't permit that I claim twice the same amount.
And sir, up to what extent one can get donation in cash in a year for the
Yeah,
organization?
anyone can give any amount of cash, but the person giving can only claim 2000 rupee as deduction under ATG.
Okay, even if he follows the new regimen?
Yes, new regime though you will not get any deduction, but
Okay.
old regime only whatever money they can give in cash. But
Uh,
still, I'll say this is not a good practice to
yeah.
accept any money through cash, because if
Yes.
you say ki I received 1 lakh of money, income tax will say you received 1 crore of money and you are saying 1 lakh of money.
Hmm. Yes.
It is not a good practice to deal anything in cash.
And is it like something like up to the 5% of total fundraising with a cap of 1 lakh rupees, something like that?
That is anonymous donation section 115 we discussed. That is the 5% cap is there. So this is an anonymous donation, but
Yes.
anonymous donation and receive under cash are two different things.
Mm, mm.
So anonymous donation, you have to, because when you receive in cash, definitely you have to get the details of that person, because you have to file the 10BD form, which cannot be filed without the identification detail of the donor, whether it is a PAN card or anything or other card. So you have to take. So anonymous donation, you don't know anything about the donor. But cash donation, you know about the donor. Donor can give you any money, but donor cannot claim beyond 2000 rupees.
Okay. Aviram, I think you're raising your hand, but if you have any questions, please put up in the Q&A box quickly, because you will not be able to speak up, but you can put up your question, please, quickly. So meanwhile, sir, we'll just come back to the same point. The first one we started, sir, the books of accounts, originals to be kept at the registered office. If that is not possible, the having photocopies or the scan copies, keeping
No,
at
no,
the
no.
other office, but
Sir,
informing,
you need not have to keep the photocopy. You
okay,
only need to intimate,
intimate,
because
okay.
the income tax authorities, if they want to review, they will
Hmm.
come to that particular place to review. They will not
Okay.
go to your several
Oh,
offices to review.
okay. Where the originals are kept?
Originals technically has to be at the registered office.
Yeah, technically yes. But in case if for any reasons that is not possible, so having registered office in Tamil Nadu and maintaining the
You can have a photocopy of the thing stating the
hmm,
fact that all the originals are available at XYZ place.
okay, okay, okay. So information to the commissioner basically. Okay. So I think this last question, sir, we'll take up. We are at 12A and ATG registered. Now we wish to get FCR registered. How long is the process?
For FCRA, like there are three conditions. If you have fulfilled, like you must be an organization which is in existence for more than 3 year or more, and your program expenditure in the past 3 years has it is more than 15 lakh of rupee. Your expenditure under program. So if these two conditions you are fulfilling, you have to open a bank account with the State Bank of India, New Delhi main branch, Parliament Street, and you have to file online form and submitting the desired fees, and you can apply for the FCRA. And getting a FCRA, there is no guarantee when you will get the registration. So it depends on your luck.
People are still waiting for renewals. So good luck for the new registrations.
Yeah.
And so I think we are coming close to the session, sir. We are about to reach the 5 o'clock time. So, Abiram, I requested you please put up your question quickly. Your raising hand will not help in this because the platform will not permit. If you have any questions, please put up in the question Q&A box quickly, please. Okay, so is donation made from NRO or NRO or NRI account? Is FCRA donation or local donation?
We need to understand that NRI is a person who is having, what is FCRA donation? If the source is foreign, if that person is holding a Indian passport, whether that person is NRI, NRO, the money will remain non-FC. If it is an Indian donation, if it is an individual donation, only one question you have to ask, whether that person holds a Indian passport. If that person is holding a Indian passport, all money, whatever money in which shape, dollar, euro, pound, whatever money that person gives, it will be non-FC. If that person, if tomorrow Mr. Panindra is in UK holding a British passport, but when it comes to your organizations gives you a 500 rupee note or a 2000 rupee note, it will become FCRA, because Mr. Fanindra is holding not a Indian
Non-Indian
passport,
passport. Yes.
non-Indian passport. So the source, the person giving will determine whether the money will be FC or non-FC. वो कहाँ से दे रहा है, it doesn't matter. वो if that person is giving in, you sitting in UK, UAE, but holding a Indian passport, it will go to it. So whenever you receive an Indian or any individual donation, before accepting that money, first ask the passport copy.
Passport determines the source.
Yes.
Okay.
It is a citizenship, actually, citizenship. So you have to ensure it from your passport.
Citizen. Okay, so thank you, sir. Thank you very much. This is a wonderful session, sir. For all of us, it's a great learning. I'm sure all our member institutions across the country have really benefited from this. This is a
Yes.
lot of new news you mentioned, although you said there's not much, but I think there's a lot in this to learn from these new changes from the 20 to 23 also taken us, not just from the recent 2024-25 budget. You also touched upon the 21, 22, 2023 changes also, and you compared before and after also to be able to really understand this better. This is a wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much for all of you. And we'll be sending you the recording of it. The link will follow you very soon next week so that you can actually watch it once again as and when you feel it. And if you have any further questions, I think you please feel free to write to us. We'll try to seek the help of Dr. Sahu. His inputs and feedback and advice is very much valued and really taken seriously across the country by all NGOs, particularly in the eye care sector. He knows the eye care sector very well. So please feel free to write to us if you have any questions. If really important, we'll get back to Dr. Sahu and I'll also get back to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
sir.
conclude this session now.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.